All right, it is 7:30 a.m. on July 29th, and I have arrived in Chisinau, Moldova. Not quite sure the plan is going to be here. I'm trying to find a change office here. It looks like I did find somebody, maybe, at least to get a couple dollars spending money. Use a different currency here. Use a different version of the lei. And it is 16 to 1 Canadian dollar, or about 12 to 1 US, I guess. So Moldova is the poorest country in Europe in terms of GDP. One of the lowest GDPs in the so-called developed world. So it is definitely not as wealthy as other parts of Europe, and that's including Ukraine. So definitely a developing country. I am waiting on getting somebody to exchange some money. But so far it's not looking that hopeful. I might have to wait about 20 more minutes. All right, I got the exchanged money in hand, so now I'm gonna try to get a taxi here. So we'll see how this goes. There's no Uber here, there's no Bolt, so kind of at the mercy of negotiation. My hotel's about 5 kilometers away.
Just as I began hailing taxis for a ride into town, a kind couple approached me and insisted on sharing their cab and paying my full fare.
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, it's okay. Whoa. All right, we're on our way towards the hotel and the Mall-Dova Mall. Thank you very much. I appreciate the gesture.
Welcome to Moldova. I think you'll be glad to this country.
So you can see some very modern towers here at the Mall-Dova Mall. And this here is my hotel, the Courtyard by Marriott, which seems to be one of the brand new hotels here in the city. Looks like a beautiful property. Using my points here for the night, so I'm all set up. So this is my beautifully modern room at the Courtyard by Marriott. Little desk area, coffee, tea, water. I believe a mini bar down there. And in here, there is a safe. And this is the bathroom. So again, pretty plush, very modern hotel. So this cost me nothing tonight. It was 12,500 Marriott Bonvoy points, which works out to, well, I guess about $100 worth of value US, which is about right. The room was 77 euros. Or about $100 US per night. Checking outside of the view, this is the Mall-Dova, pardon the pun. And because I was up all night, I keep falling asleep and dozing off. So I gotta get moving. But the hotel has been kind enough to deliver this beautiful fruit tray to me as a thank you for being an elite member of the Marriott program. So bon appetit. I can't wait to explore the city with you guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm on my way to go get a PCR test. Hopefully it's not too extortionate. Let's head out. I'm gonna go to the Mall-Dova here and see if I can find an ATM to withdraw a little bit of Moldovan money. I'm only here for about 24 hours, but I need a little bit of cash to get by. So it's actually a pretty impressive mall. You can see Tucano Coffee is their homegrown coffee shop here in Moldova, but it is quite impressive. Lots of different American and European brands and multi-level, 4 stories tall by the looks of it. I'm on my way to get the PCR test. Hopefully it all goes smoothly. Got 2 places booked, so if this one doesn't work out, I at least have a backup to head to after this. Well, I just got my COVID swab, thankfully. There was a little bit of a mix-up. I guess she didn't actually book an appointment, so they were confused at what I was doing there. But in any case, She kind of reluctantly made me an appointment on the spot. It did cost me only $50, so really inexpensive. And I am good to go now for my test. Results should be in tonight, she said, so that's great news. And it's nice to have that at least out of the way. I would strongly recommend, if you are in need of a PCR test, to make sure that you have an appointment booked in advance. I have, had a pretty scary morning being told by, dozens of labs that they're not able to accommodate me, even if I have a flight tomorrow. They don't care. So make sure you take care of yourself and book that appointment early. I had no idea that it was in that high demand that you couldn't get a same-day test. I guess that is kind of more typical here in Moldova. They don't have a lot going on in terms of labs. In Bucharest, you could walk up at any hour of the day. So depends on where you're headed. Make sure you establish that before you get there, though. Or else I probably wouldn't have got on the bus from Iași if I had known how complicated it would be. Well, this is the Rose Valley Park in Chisinau, Moldova. My hotel was actually directly opposite this expansive bit of green space in the, not the heart of Chisinau. It's going to take me about 1.5 kilometers to walk back. It's definitely a cool and relaxing walk through this beautiful green space. So there's a couple of lakes with paddle boats for rental, little scooter buggies. Yeah, it's a pretty beautiful day out. So I'm about halfway through the park at this point. They even have hammocks and things. Like, it's so cool. This is really one of the gems of the city. Oh, they do have Bolt rentals. That's good to know. They don't have Bolt as a service here, but it looks like they might have Bolt scooters available for rent. Yeah, there's tons going on though. There's lots of ice cream stands, coffee stands. Perfect place to relax. And these trees look almost like they're from South Carolina or Georgia. They're so bushy. They even have a little beach that has been set up for people to use. And yeah, definitely a really cool place. Lots of stuff to do. It's getting hot though. It's going to be another 38-degree day today, so not necessarily looking forward to that. I don't even know where I'm going really. I'm just kind of following my GPS towards my hotel, and any little pathway that opens up I'll just go down. But really beautiful. I had no idea that Chisinau could have such beauty. For the poorest place in Europe, it is undeniably beautiful. Looks like I'm coming to the major road now, and I think my hotel should be to the right, about 500 meters. This is the Moldovan Parliament Government House, and right across the street from that rather nondescript building is the Triumphal Arch, which is this right here. You can see the Moldovan flag hanging proudly inside of it. So this Triumphal Arch was built in 1841, so it actually is quite historic. You can see the columned exterior. And right over there is the famous Nativity Church, which is Chisinau's most famous landmark, right over there. So I'm gonna go head over and take some photos of that in a second. I'm just wondering what they were triumphing, but I don't have any cell service right now, so I can't look it up. So yeah, it does get more impressive the further you get away from the structure, but it is a bit smaller than I thought it would be, definitely. Lots of beautiful flowers on display, though I think they could use a watering by the looks of it. And great views of the Nativity Church. There's a lot of great green space here in Chisinau. Definitely a sleepy capital. I mean, these are the highlights of the entire country right here, apart from its wineries outside of town. that I've heard are worth visiting. If that's your thing, this is your dream country. Everybody lauds the fact that they have cheap, amazing wine here in this country. It's a very pleasant place to walk around, that's for sure. It is just very hot. Yeah, there it is, the Nativity Church. So it is a fairly decent church. The black dome roof is quite unique. You can see that patterned gold cross at the very top as well, and these really interesting columns along each side of the building. Now, this is probably not going to make Lonely Planet's, top 10 attractions around the world for 2021, but it's something. So I think I finally got a sense of where this place reminds me of, and it's bringing back strong memories of Lithuania, my time in Vilnius. So if you have been to Vilnius, it is very similar to Chisinau. Also a very small capital with not a ton to do, but it was worth checking out for the day that I was there in 2010. So what I'll remember most about Chisinau is the level of green space that this place has. It's almost like Edmonton in that regard. Just parks everywhere. Anyway, it's a very relaxing place because there's not a lot to do, so you are forced to take it at a slower pace. And that's not a bad thing. I heard that the city's flower market is up over here on this street. I'm not sure if it's in operation today, but I'm gonna go check it out. So I'm right over here on the north end of the Cathedral Park, and this is the city's flower market. You can see one stall there. But yeah, this is one of the claims to fame of the city. Lots of fresh flowers on sale. I gotta watch when I cross the street here though, because there is no pedestrian right away despite the pedestrian crosswalk. And if you didn't notice already, in Moldova they use Romanian. So Romanian is the language of Moldova. If you weren't aware of that, I sure wasn't aware of it, but you will see Romanian pretty much everywhere. They also do have some signs in Russian or Ukrainian. So I'm heading up to Tucano Coffee, which is Moldova's homespun coffee chain. And it's just coming up right there on the left. There's multiple locations all around town. All right, I'm trying out the cold brew here at the Tucano Coffee Shop, and it is excellent. It's very fruity and very flavorful. It's definitely refreshing. Oh my goodness. I didn't get it with tonic today because I feel like I'm drinking too much sugar lately, but really good. All right, now checking out the flat white, which is gorgeous. This was 41 Moldovan lei, or about $2.50 Canadian, so really reasonable for a flat white. So I gotta say, that's probably one of the best flat whites I've ever had in my life. It's absolutely incredible. And $2.50, that's incredibly cheap. I ordered an Americano to try it out. Ooh, that is incredibly good. It's crazy just how they can get every single drink right. Well, I'm definitely getting tired at this point, having been up all night and sleeping on the train bench and everything else. I am just wiped, but I still have to book my airplane ticket home, so that's my priority right now. I can't really push that off any longer, unfortunately. I have a lot of different options, so I just have to weigh which is the best and then go from there, I guess. So you can see they have these collections of photographs depicting all the frontline workers for so pretty interesting choice for urban art, but it is nice to recognize those frontline workers for sure. Beautiful building on the other side of the street. And McDonald's. I think that's the only chain restaurant I have seen here so far. So this building is quite handsome. You can see this clock tower on the end of it. Really beautiful. Well, this is the National Palace, which is actually the city's opera house. It's not much to look at, but this is one of their major conference slash concert venues here. I'm starting to get that overtired feeling where I just don't even care what I eat tonight. It's pretty much, I am completely fried from that overnight, so I barely got any sleep, so I just feel horrible right now. But I'm gonna try to motor on through to at least make an evening out of this. I don't want to go to bed at 7 o'clock, so I try to push through for at least a couple more hours, then have an earlier rise tomorrow and see a little bit more of the city before I head out. So I just stumbled across this beautiful Romanian Orthodox church. Very beautiful. You can see it's almost candy cane style awnings and silver domes on this one. There's some nasty storm rolling in. It's pretty bad. There's gray clouds coming in the sky. I can feel the rain. It's getting pretty windy outside. Changed very fast. Wow. So this storm just ripped in, like with zero warning. I just was able to get online and finally get a taxi. It took about 10 to 15 minutes to actually order one, but my Yandex is on the way. At this point, I'm gonna go back to the hotel. There's no use being out when these storm clouds are brewing and I could destroy my gear very quickly. I gotta get off the streets ASAP.